Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Local Legends podcast. I'm your co-host, Samir Jidian, and we have our second co-host,
Shaddy.
and we have a very, very special guest today. He came all the way from Ontario, Canada,
Shout
Bobby
outs to you for
Alatrack.
that. Shout outs to Bob for coming all the way, driving all the way from Toronto.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
So, tell me, what do you do over there?
So, really briefly, in Toronto, currently I am a full-time mechanical engineer, a building science consultant, and I'm also a part-time barber for my fellow friends and family after my engineering job. That's really briefly just what I do down there.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. What made you want to be a barber?
That's a good question that a lot of my clients know the answer to. But what made me want to become a barber was the fact that I was looking for something more to do on my free time. Funny enough, when I first started school, I also aspired to be a professional gamer, which didn't end up working out too well for me. I had to quickly transition. And my roommate was also a barber who kind of gave me the idea that, hey, you seem pretty connected in the space. You got a lot of friends. Your barber that currently cuts my hair is very talented, who I had a close relationship with. I brought the idea up to him. And it's funny enough, like all three of us were friends. My roommate, the barber that cuts me, and me, we were all friends. And he thought it would be a good idea. And I kind of just started learning from him, watching him. Going in on my free time and watching videos on the side and asking questions. And very quickly, I developed the skills to allow me to start cutting, cutting my friends and family and stuff like that.
I remember that. I remember I was trying to start to cut hair, and that didn't work out.
Yeah.
The hardest part is like finding people to trust you to even cut their hair. How did you get people to trust you to cut their hair? And where did you do it?
That's a good question. Okay, those are good questions. So how I got people to trust me was it all depends on what value you have to offer. So in my instance, I had to give free haircuts. It started off with.
Well, I mean, for me, it was like I would give anybody a free haircut.
Yeah.
Like, how did they just like oh yeah, all right, this is your first haircut? This is the first time?
Yeah.
I mean, like, how'd you get them? How'd you convince them?
Okay, so it didn't take much convincing, honestly. It was because a lot of people had trusted me because they knew I was a very determined individual, I guess. I guess that's something I could say about myself. But also another part of it was that they knew that I would have the help of the barber that was mentoring me at the time, Brandon. They knew and they trusted him. So with him looking over my shoulder and stuff, it was a little bit easier to get people to come in and start cutting with me. And so, my mistakes were vital, but, nothing detrimental, like something you can fix with another experienced barber's help. Like if, you follow the rules of the barber world, I guess you could say. Yeah.
Now, how long before you actually got a chair? Like you got your license?
I guess I wouldn't say how long before I actually got a chair. Maybe I could say like the first time I got paid was probably, I would say like a month into cutting hair. So it probably took me about a month of cutting. And a month of cutting, I would say probably around 20 cuts. It took me about 20 cuts to get my first payday, or maybe like my first 15 cuts. Although I would say family did come and cut with me and I did an awful job and they paid me. I didn't feel like I deserved to get paid, but like
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, some of them still helped me out, help me get back the money for the tools that I had spent some money on. So
well, yeah, then that's
that's
legit.
So it took me about like to get my own chair, and I think I remember getting my own contract and stuff with the shop that I was working at. It took me about 2 to 3 months of just coming in, cutting at home, practicing, watching videos. It took about 3 months
and then you just became awesome, huh? You just became a legend.
Yeah, no, that didn't really work like that. I didn't just become a legend. There was a whole process to it. So I was working as with my dad in construction at the time while I was doing my degree, and then I had to quit construction with my dad at one point because the barber career was becoming sustainable. And the reason I wanted to the reason I wanted to become a barber, this is something I didn't mention, was because I was working with my dad in the construction industry and I freaking hated it. Waking up at 5:30 in the morning, going to push wheelbarrows full of dirt, full of concrete from 6 a.m. till 5 p.m. And I thank my dad for that, because it really did discipline me. But I kind of had to find my way out of that space immediately because it was just not it, man. Like early mornings and late evenings pushing wheelbarrow. You're tired, you're sweaty, you're wake up the next day and you got to do it again. So I wanted something where I was more in control of my time. So that's another reason why.
Well, then how much? Okay, more control of your time. how often were you cutting? How were you making your money? How were you getting
Mm.
like? Because I know you are a very successful barber, bro.
Okay, so
like-
that's a good question. How I was getting the money? A lot of that had to do with the fact that I wasn't actually chasing the money. So what was happening was I was more inspired to become a good barber than I was inspired to become wealthy. Like I just wanted to become good at the job. Like I found passion in giving good haircuts, I guess, and like I saw what it did to people, and especially with me, like I would always look forward to getting my haircut. It was nice to like cut people and like you know give some confidence, you know, share some confidence, and that's what helped me essentially get really good. And I guess when you're really good at something, people will pay for your service, you know, like people aren't afraid to, like, I'm not afraid personally to pay a premium on something knowing that I'm going to get a quality service, you know, whether it's
Right.
my food, whether it's the car I drive, whether it's, you know, what I'm doing on the weekend. Like I don't mind doing that. So I guess people saw value in the fact that I'm very particular and very detail oriented, and they appreciated me. And that's kind of what thrive. That's what the Bobby Bullets brand is. That's what helped me thrive in the industry, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Now, you said you went to get your master's degree.
Yeah, so that's another thing. So yeah, while I was I guess it would make more sense to go back a few steps and talk about my bachelor's degree, because I was doing my bachelor's as I was cutting hair. That's another reason why I got into cutting hair, actually,
Yeah.
because it helped fund a lot of my education. So with the construction world, I can only work during the summers, and then I would have to save up for the summer to pay for my tuition during the fall and winter. But the beauty behind cutting hair was the control of time and the influx of money when you're obviously good at what you do. So I could study and then, you know, book haircuts after I'm done studying, and that would help me gather some money and save my money to pay for my tuition at the time and pay for my rent and stuff like that. And I also had money saved up working with my dad. So, you know, that helped me get my bachelor's degree, which ultimately led to me getting my mechanical engineering job after I graduated from my bachelor's. And I was still cutting hair at the time while I had my mechanical engineering job. So two jobs in one go. You know, I do my 7 a.m. shift as a mechanical engineer, finish at 3:15, rip it to the shop, go from 3:15 till sometimes midnight, sometimes 1 a.m, you know, averaging those types of hours. Like I would do that. I would do my engineering job 5 times a week. I would cut hair 4 times a week, which ultimately I didn't like that type of schedule. So that's what
Right.
led me to getting my master's degree, because I didn't like my mechanical engineering job. I felt like cutting hair was coming towards an end, and I just felt like I didn't want to be a barbershop owner, which would have been the next step. So
Yep.
I wanted to specialize in the mechanical or in the engineering world, in which I did do that.
Now, so after you really did well in the barber world, how did you, like, what made you want to be an engineer? Like, why engineering?
Okay. Oh, that's, yeah. So all these are good questions. Okay. So engineering, the reason I wanted to be an engineer was because it was a challenge for me at the time. I remember in high school, I was never the one to get good grades. And then come grade 12, I just started killing it in all my physics and math courses and science courses. And so I guess my options were a doctor. I wasn't interested in biology. My options were lawyer. I was never good in writing and whatnot. Like, you know, I never liked English. I never was interested in being a lawyer, although that would have been my second alternative had engineering not worked out. And then a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Those are probably my 3 options from my dad.
You would have been a great lawyer, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
You're really good at
Probably-
debating.
You're good
Yeah.
at debating, yes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can. You could say I'm okay at debating. My job requires a little bit of debating, and my current job requires a little
Yeah.
bit of debating and having your facts checked. But it was those 3 options, and then I decided on mechanical engineering because, you know, I wasn't interested in many other things. I just wanted the challenge, and you know, I was inspired by my aunt's husband. My uncle Anwar Adrawis, if you guys know who he is. He's a very successful engineer who's
Oh, yeah.
I just looked up to him at the time when I was younger too, 16, 17. So
I
I could say
remember.
he's a very smart guy that I just wanted to kind of be like. And, you know, I kind of got into engineering because of him. And then I took my own path in mechanical because, you know, people at the time told me mechanical engineering is good. I honestly didn't know what I was doing at 18
Yeah.
years old. I just had good grades. Wanted to do something challenging. I got into a really good engineering program at the University of Guelph. And from there it was history, you know, you just do your time, 4 years.
Now, we go back a little to the barber thing. So, were you able to ever build connections with being a barber and being an engineer?
Yeah, so I got my first engineering job because of one of my clients. Actually, funny enough, my first haircut was on a buddy of mine who introduced me to a buddy of his, who his dad was a very high up position at this mechanical engineering company that I wanted to work at, called Magna International, and I built that connection with him through cutting hair. I cut his hair a few times, and then I talked to him and I said, hey, like, do you think you can, 4 years later, actually, I cut his hair. So I met him year one of cutting hair. 4 years later, I started cutting him, and I brought up the idea that, hey, like, look, when you met me, I was in school, but now I graduated. Can you get me a job in this firm? And he said, yeah, like I promised you when you graduate, when I first met you 4 years ago, I told you I would do it. And so I had graduated. I planted that seed. And 4 years later, the barbering world brought us back together, where I asked him, and he ended up helping me out to get that job. So yeah, that was one way I utilized my barber connections to. Yeah.
Now, you said you got your master's though. So
Yeah.
like, what inspired you to get
Okay.
your master's degree?
What really inspired me, I gotta give credit where it's due. My uncle Farid. My uncle Farid was somebody who I also really look up to. There's a lot of people I really look up to. You know, I can give a list of that if you guys would like. But my uncle Farid was somebody that I kind of went to for insight at a time where I was kind of explaining to you guys, like, hey, like, you know, I'm working a full-time job as a mechanical engineer, designing and manufacturing car parts at Magna, and I didn't like that job. And then I was cutting hair after hours, and I was starting to not like that job either, because I was just drained all the time. I was good at it. People loved me. People loved cutting with me, but I just felt like I had a bigger purpose. You know, I was meant for more. And all I could do was consult with people. Ironically, he is a consultant, and I can consult with people who know more than me. And I asked for his opinion, and I appreciated it. And he made a very valid and good argument to me, is that, it's never a bad idea to go back for more education and specialize in something. He's like, you want to be an engineer? He's like, a lot of people have an engineering degree. He's like, he tells me that a lot of people had an engineering degree, and you're a dime a dozen. He's like, but what people don't have is a master's degree. Yeah. So that's when I was like, okay, it's time to go and really separate myself from the crowd here. And he did make a good point. Like, a lot of people graduated with a bachelor's of engineering, which is still a fantastic degree, like, not to take away from it. Like, I could have been very successful just with that, but he told me, if you're very serious, you'll go and get your master's. And that's what made me want to go do it. So I would give him a lot of credit. And I did obviously a little bit of research on the degree that he suggested to do, and what the importance of a master's degree is, and that really helped me out to propelled me to the next level for sure.
But which are you most proud of, though? Your success in being a barber, or getting into the engineering field?
Oh, okay.
Because of the barber field, you did amazing, and you won awards. I remember I was there.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Didn't you win best
Flawless
barber?
Yeah, so
Flawless
flawless fade.
barber?
Yeah, so that's a whole subject on its own. So yeah, year 3 of my career, I beat a bunch of guys that have been cutting for so long. They were all older than me.
On your
third year,
three.
yeah, year 3 of cutting hair. Yeah.
So the hustle's there.
Yeah, the hustle is there. It's the passion. Yeah, the passion is there for sure. I would definitely say that's a good question, man. I don't want to take away from either career, because they're both really good, but I would say I think I'm more proud of my master's degree, man. I've had more sleepless nights, or just my education in general. I've just had more sleepless nights due to education than I have because of cutting hair, man.
Yeah.
So I got to say for sure, my education was something that I'm very, very proud of.
Bob, Bob's a big hustler, dude.
Yeah.
He is.
Now,
he is.
What gets you want to wake up and just hustle every day, bro? Because I mean, you had the crazy lifestyles of, like, you did a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, let alone, okay, like, what one of your things that you did. I mean, how old were you? You had an M3 comp brand new from the dealer.
24 years old.
24-year-old.
Not the greatest decision, but definitely don't
But I
regret
mean,
it.
still,
Yeah.
I mean, you hustled for it.
Yeah, 100%. What made me want to do that? What made me want to hustle is your question, I guess.
Yeah,
what
what
made me
made you
wake
want to
up?
hustle? What makes you want to, like,
Yeah, what
hustle and
motivates
have,
you?
like,
I
like,
guess what motivates me, I've actually answered this question to one of my employers before too. I got asked this question: is what makes me wake up in the morning? I didn't think he liked this answer, but I'm gonna stick by it. Is what made me wake up. What makes me wake up every morning is the fact that I have a family, a great family. I have great people around me. I have good health. I have food and water accessible at any times that I want. I have resources that will make me happy instantly, and I have nothing left to achieve in this world other than, I guess, success. So waking up in the morning, I don't have to wake up and go and look for food or find means to drink water. I'm protecting myself from or sheltering myself from war, or I have a very good life. And I guess the next step for me would be to just build something for myself and for my family, which is a blessing in itself. Like I have the opportunity to do something, so that's what makes me wake up every morning. I guess that's that's like definitely a driving factor, for sure. I came very unprepared for this, by the way.
This was a surprise.
Okay, but yeah, it was a surprise. We just surprised him.
It
with
was a
Okay,
surprise.
So now back to your barber thing. All right. So
Yeah.
like, give us like your what was your best haircut experience, and what was your like absolute worst haircut you've ever given?
Oh man, I don't even know if we could pull up pictures. Can we?
Yeah, we can. We'll pop them up.
Pop them up on the
Yeah, we'll
screen.
pop them
Okay,
on the
but I
screen.
don't even have pictures. Okay. Do you guys have
You,
pictures?
you can send it to us.
Yeah,
so we can
okay.
find them
Well, I
later.
mean,
We'll post
hey,
them.
Okay.
Bob he literally just cut us.
Yeah, I just
Me
cut
and
his
Samir
hair.
both
That's a
got
great.
haircuts from Samir.
And the
Or from
garage.
Bob.
And the garage. I cut them in the garage. I
Yes.
mean, I could pull up some pretty ugly photos, but
We'll get to those later. But like, what?
worst haircut experience? Definitely when I first started, man. Like the first 10 guys, I have photos of all of them, by the way. The first 10 guys got it really nicely, man.
Yeah.
I remember you had guys lined up in your basement.
Yeah, that's when right before COVID and stuff. But that was the timing was amazing. Like I started cutting hair like 6 to 8 months before COVID. That's what also really helped propel my career in that industry.
What was? Give us your worst haircut. Like what? How did it go?
Oh,
Was
man.
anyone
What
ever
did he?
upset?
What did he tell you?
No,
What?
see, I've never had a bad haircut experience. I've
Never?
never had I've never had
Really?
anybody like evidently start a problem with me. I've had people.
Well, no,
be
not a problem, but
picky.
like he.
I've had people be picky in the chair, like, oh, like fix
Yeah.
this and that, whatever. But I've never had someone be like, what the hell is this? No, this is awful. I'm not paying. I've never had that.
Yeah.
I have and good haircut experiences too. I've had people all the time. They message me and say like, thank you for the good haircut. Thank you for the good convo. Like that's something that's nice. That's nice. That comes with the job. Like you definitely feel like you helped somebody today. Like it's nothing crazy. Like nothing really changes. Nothing really crazy happens when I give people.
You like the vibes and
Yeah, it's the good energy. That's definitely my craziest experience, the craziest haircut. Like I've had to cut people for weddings. I've had to cut people for interviews. I've had to cut people for they're going to take their mug shots. Like I've had to do all sorts of crazy haircuts. But like my best experience, I haven't had any best experiences. Like
Well,
but-
I mean, let's say like weddings and
Yeah,
interviews
weddings.
and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
does that
all
does
the
that
time.
make you like?
Yeah,
even
you
though
gotta
you know
walk
you're a
in.
good barber, does that make you nervous?
No,
Like,
no, I don't get nervous on
No?
the job. Yeah,
Like-
I stopped I stopped getting nervous after I won that event. Like
Yeah?
that one. Yeah, that was the only time I've ever been nervous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big
Because-
confidence booster. Right
Yeah,
there.
it's like lots of people watching, and like it's now it's competitive. So anyone feels nerves in instances like that. But I've never felt nervous cutting like anyone very successful, anyone very famous. I don't really care. I know I'm good at my job. Like I know I'm confident. Like he's gonna get a good haircut. Like nerves only come when like it's for like when other people are like watching me and stuff like that, or like it's like a competition. But it's a very very like laid back. I can do it while I'm talking type job, so it's really good, as opposed to my other jobs. So yeah.
Well, now, if they're like, let's say tomorrow some kid comes up to you, he's in your chair, you're cutting him, and he wants you to explain to him how you became a barber and like how you got good and like what he could do to become like you.
That's a good question.
What would you say? What would you tell him?
And I have a follow up question, but I want to hear your answer.
Okay, yeah. So the question here is, and I want to reiterate so I know how you're asking me. If there was someone who was younger and wanted to be, who was someone who was younger and inspired by me and wanted to follow in my footsteps, what would I tell them?
And being a barber.
And
yes.
being and this is specifically to the barber side of my
Yes.
Okay, so I would tell him it's very important that if you want to become a barber and if you want to become a good barber, there's many ways to do this. You can, there's a million ways to cut hair. There's a million ways to cook an egg. There's a million ways to do many things. But my way, the way I did things, and it worked out for me. I was very successful. Like I said at the start, I didn't focus on the money. When I first started cutting, I didn't focus on the money, maybe because I didn't need it. Some people need it. You know what I mean? So it's a little different. But for me, I didn't really need. I wasn't in a desperate need of income because I was young.
And
So that's another thing.
Relate to that. That's a good point because I can relate to that
Yeah.
because like even in the flooring business, we have kids coming to us wanting to work.
Yeah.
And they're all worried about the money, but like
You can't
they're
do
not
that.
worried about what you're gonna learn
Learn.
to
Yeah.
make the big money. Like
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
what you want to just make no money now,
Yeah.
and like
Well-
you know, it'll be money, but not good enough money now, but
Sure.
not grow and make 10 times what you're making.
100%.
Like whatever
100%.
it is, like
Yeah.
you need to have that drive.
Yeah,
No,
my focus wasn't that for sure. I don't think it was at the start. I don't think it was that, man. I lost money, man. I had to buy the tools and do all sorts of crap
Yeah.
and driving places and
Right.
like I had to lose money, you know. Like I had to take the bus. I had to like take the bus to the barber shop, hour and a half bus from my house. Walk 20 minutes holding the luggage to go watch my barber, the one that would cut my hair. Like watch and learn, you know, from him. So like I wasn't focused on getting a profit. I was focused on learning.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw him with a fully booked schedule, you know, charging $80 a haircut, 80 to $100 a haircut. And like, he's booked all day, all week. And like, I knew that the only way you could do that is if you were nasty.
Yep.
That's the only way you can do it.
Yep.
It doesn't work. Like, you have to be nasty and you have to be, people have to like you, you know, and you can get away with being either or. Like there's barbers who are awful at cutting hair, but they're good with people. They have a lot of friends and family and stuff, and you can get away with it, right? Because it's all about the clientele. But my marketing strategy was I wanted to be the best, and when you're the best, everyone wants to go to the best, man.
And you became the best.
That's I guess that's how it happened. Yeah, like I worked really freaking hard. I don't want to say I'm the best. There's a lot of good barbers, but I became one of the best in my opinion. At one time, yeah, I guess I was the best when I won that trophy, and it made people want to come to me. So if I had to give a young kid, to conclude this answer, if I had to give a young kid some advice on how to become a successful barber, I would tell him you have to become the best.
Yeah.
You have to have it so in your, like, you have to be so delusional. Like it was delusion.
agree.
At one point, it was literal delusion. Like I was like telling people I'm the best, and I was so bad.
Yeah.
But like I don't care, man. I didn't care, and I just did it. Like I don't know. I wasn't. Yeah, that's my answer. Just don't focus on the money, man. Like if you have money and like that's not your main priority, don't cut hair to make money, man. Like work another job that gets you a stable income, like a 9 to 5, whatever, McDonald's, Amazon. Like go work somewhere,
Yeah.
and then cut hair on the side until you're good enough to make your side hustle your full priority. That's it. That's how I do.
Now the question comes is, now this might be controversial, is it really a long-term career? Because you don't really see too many older guys, you see younger guys.
Yeah. Okay. So this is something that I've also discussed with a lot of my clients before too. Like a lot of times people ask me like, what am I gonna do with the barber career and the barber industry and stuff like that. I definitely see it as a long-term career. You can become an entrepreneur and open up your own shops and have multiple shops going for you. But I don't think that's the path I wanted to take. Like as a full-time barber, it was good from my my early 20s. Now I'm reaching 26 and stuff like that. So, like cutting hair, and it's tiring. It's a tiring job, right? You know, it's good to do it in your youth while you have energy and strength. But when you reach 40, 45, you might slow down. The production might be as good. So you definitely have to think about.
Up. You're standing. How long
yeah,
are you
of
standing up?
But-
Hours and hours. On
But
end,
you know
like-
what? Like my engineering job, I do a lot of sitting down on the desk typing, and I do a lot of walking on site and stuff. So everything has its own, in my opinion, everything has its own. It's like what am I gonna say? Like it's like a kryptonite. Like there's always something,
I agree.
So yeah, the cutting hair world, I would say that long term, it's tricky to it depends on the path you take. You could take the path of becoming a celebrity barber, exclusive barber, NBA. I see a lot of NBA barbers. I see a lot of people that you could take the path of opening up your own barber shop and renting out chairs. Like that's ways to grow in the career. But at the end of the day, like I don't want to keep cutting hair. Like I don't always want to be behind the chair. There's gonna be a time where I have to step down. But the way to do that is or cut a lot less, significantly less, not completely quit. But the way to do that was to have your own successful shop that's running, and or have a very exclusive clientele that pays you a very good salary once a year. But long term, that's if you're really, really passionate about cutting hair, like that's the path you could take. And I just don't see myself doing that in the near future, unfortunately.
Right.
How quickly did the cost of haircuts go up? Because when you started, it was like, what, $30?
This is a controversial question in itself too, actually, because when I started, like, you can get a haircut for $10. I'll send you to a
Really?
barber. Yeah, I'll send you to a barber who'll cut you for $10.
But is it the current situation that everyone's charging higher, or is it just that if a barber has plus 5 years of experience, they just charge more?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because if you have an electrician who has 5 years of experience, he's going to charge more. If you have a plumber who's 5 years, he's going to charge more. But you can get a plumber for $10. You can get a plumber for $5,000. But it just depends on what you want. But you're asking me if the average cost of haircuts went up. Yeah, I think they definitely did go up, right? The technology for cutting hair, I think, too, has gotten better. And and the means of learning and the resources are like exponential. Like they're growing. It's growing so fast. You could just learn instantly. You know, with AI, with YouTube, with you know, and this is like I said, this becomes exponential growth. So barbers start to learn easier and faster, and it continues to grow.
Yeah.
So like like the prices on average did go up, but like when I first started cutting 8 years ago, I told you my barber, the guy that mentored me, was charging $80 to $100 a cut. You know, like
Wow.
$60, $80, $100. Like he was killing it. Very successful, very talented barber who also inspired me. But
What
yeah.
did you start off at? What was your rates in the beginning?
I didn't
Like
really
an average
have
cut.
rates.
Hair and beard. How much was it?
I didn't really have rates. Like people would just come and cut with me, and if the cut was good, they would pay me, you know, like people paid me by themselves. But then eventually, like I started doing like 30, 40. So $30 a haircut, $40 for beard and hair, or like whatever. And then you go up from there. And then I started working at another shop that immediately set me at 40, 50 or 40, 60, 40, 60, you know, $40 beard or $40 haircut, $60 beard and lineup when I started working at a shop. But, you know, they took a commission out of that. So it wasn't the best at the start, but then I started pushing them to give me a raise because I started getting good really fast.
Yep.
You know, because I was doing more haircuts, you know, greater volume. You're gonna gain experience faster.
So you see your skill, you see the quality. Don't be scared to ask for a raise.
100%.
Don't be scared. Don't like.
Oh, I didn't even ask for a raise. I told them raise my price. I didn't even tell them.
Exactly.
It wasn't even a negotiation at that point. I was so arrogant in the barber world, man. I don't know why. It was just delusion. Like I don't know, but yeah, like
If
I
you
told
know
them
you're good.
Yeah, I told them I don't want
Get your money.
Yeah, I told them I don't want to charge these prices anymore, and they bumped me up. And then I told them I don't even want to charge those prices anymore. 55. I was at $50. And I thought I don't want even to charge that. And now I'm at $55 a haircut, which takes me half an hour if I'm not like talking and messing around, and then $70 for a beard and lineup, for a beard and haircut and like a beard lineup and stuff like that. Which takes me about 45 minutes. Once again, like if I'm locked in, I could 40 minutes, 45 minutes, that gets done. And yeah, like I did that, like I said, just over time, you know, like every year you bump it up a little bit. Every year you get faster, you get better, you do things quicker, like you get busier, you know, and people like, I don't want to raise my prices anymore after this too, because, you know, like there's a limit, you know, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to scam people. It's a haircut in the end, but at the same time too, like people are willing to pay for a good service. Like people aren't afraid to come and give me $100 for a quality haircut.
So if you change your prices right now to $100, people would still come?
I have clients that already do give me $100. Yeah. And it's not because like they're rich. It's not because like some of them are very wealthy and they do it. And it's not because like, you know, like they want to throw money and splash money around. It's not, it's like, when I'm consistent and I show up on time and I do my job and I do a good job every time, and they want a good quality haircut every single time, I think, $100 is worth it for the certain client, right? But they get the $100 service, right? So it's all gotta be balanced out in a business format in the end, right?
They get the Bobby Bullet, Scott.
Yeah.
Get the Bobby Bullets
Everybody,
fade.
you know what? True. I don't want to say that because I think everybody gets the Bobby Bullets fade. I give everybody my 110% that day. Like whatever steam I got in me, I'm gonna, you know, let it out. I'm not going to just hold back on one client or another client based off pay. Like I said, like I try not to do this for the money. Money isn't my main driver. Although, like it helps me, you know, make a living and stuff, and it's important. It's not the only thing that matters. Like I said, my reputation and, you know, who I am matters to me the most.
Yeah.
So,
Now, where do you see yourself in the near future? Of what's next for you?
yeah, like I kind of foreshadowed on this. I think what's next for me is that I want to kind of step down from the barber game slowly.
Oh,
Yeah, and I want to focus on my engineering career. Like I think I found home in the engineering world. You know, doing what I do, and I'm starting to connect a lot of pieces of the puzzle and stuff. You know, like things that I was trying to do like for the last 6 years. Like I've been trying to figure it out. Like what space do I want to get into? How am I going to do it? What's out there? And you know, like what am I capable of? I'm finally starting to find these answers, and barbering helped me get there. But now, if I want to really, you know, excel to the next level, I have to, you know, take time away from that and focus on my engineering career. You know, I did do a lot of school, and you know, the company that I work at has a lot of opportunity for me, and it's eventually, you know, the optimization isn't going to be found in cutting hair. It's going to be, my time is going to be better optimized as an engineer. And that's the next steps for me, you know, definitely taking myself to the next level as an engineer. So I think that's pretty obvious.
Bobby Bullets loves being an engineer.
Bobby Bullets, the
Is
Bobby, the engineer.
Bob
Yeah.
the engineer.
Bob the engineer. Now, is there like a big project you're working on right now as an engineer? Like, is there something like
Yeah.
what's like a cool project you're working on right now?
Actually, something cool we recently did was we do in my current company is we do something called property condition assessments. I love talking about this, man. I'll ramble on forever.
Let's hear it.
Property condition assessments is just one service that we offer and that I'm capable of doing. But in hindsight, it's just you go and you assess all aspects that make up a building. So, for example, the structure, for the people at home, I have to say this like in very dumbed down terms, but like let's just say like the roof, the walls, the windows. So that's something called like your building envelope. It's kind of like the building envelope. It is what it is.
Like
It's
the
wall.
structure.
The structure and the building envelope are two different things because they both serve two different purposes. But that's an aspect of the building is the roof, the walls, the windows, the interior finishes, your insulation, your mechanical system. So every house has a furnace, every house has a domestic hot water, and there's tiny little components within those components that I also assess. And I will write reports on their condition. I'll write reports on any recommendations if the conditions are bad, their age, how much it's going to roughly cost to replace these things. And for somebody who has 50 buildings, these reports are very valuable and could save and help make that person a lot of money. And so a project that I worked on was I did a property condition assessment for a very big library in Calgary. My company flew me out to Calgary to do a property condition assessment on a Calgary public library. It's called the Central Library. It's a 240,000 square foot library. It's a very beautiful library. Like it's nice going to these buildings and you see different types of buildings, the way they're composed, different types of materials, different types of architecture. You see the different types of system they're using to make up that building. And like for me, it's like an engineer, it's just like a engineering heaven. Like it's like
That's like an
it's like
engineering dream.
yeah, it's like a kid in a candy shop. You just see
Yeah.
different types of buildings and stuff like that. And you're learning, especially at the stages that I am in my career, I'm learning a lot. Like, how many buildings have I been in my whole life? It's now increasing at such a fast rate. Like I'm seeing so many different types of buildings and construction types, and it's all information that I'm storing and I'm learning. So it's really good.
I mean, especially the fact that you get to travel.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, not a lot of engineers get to do that.
Yeah, and that's another nice thing about my job. Like, yeah, I get out of the office every couple of weeks to travel around, drive around, whatever.
See new
go
things.
to different sites and stuff like that. So yeah, but that one project. So if you look up the building, Central Library in Calgary, it's a very nice building.
We'll throw a picture of it.
Throw a
Yeah,
picture up
sure,
there.
why not? I'll send you guys
Joe, by the way, shout out to Joe.
Yeah,
He's
behind the
over there
scenes.
behind the
camera.
scenes. He'll pop up a picture of it.
Joe, take a picture, or take notes, and I'll send you the pictures after of my worst and best haircuts and whatnot.
We-
Man, I gotta look for
Can't
those.
wait to see
Yeah, I
those.
gotta look for those, man.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time.
I know we are almost out of time. We're gonna keep these short, so you don't get bored. But, podcast hour long.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yeah.
Yeah, how long is this podcast going to be? Probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Maybe.
no?
I mean,
it's been about
we're,
30
we're,
minutes.
we're gonna keep them short.
Yeah, I feel like I've covered a lot of things, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pivotal moments in my career that I owe a lot of
So
credit
long,
to.
long story short, as well. Bobby, the barber,
Yeah,
the engineer,
the
he
student.
hustles, the student,
Yeah,
long
master's
hours,
student.
studying, master's degree,
family man.
family man,
Yeah, I try my
all
best.
around just
Family's first. Family's-
amazing character.
Family's the most. You're so nice, Sheddy.
Yeah,
You
well, I
guys,
mean,
you
you are-
guys are
you are.
amazing characters,
You are.
man.
I mean,
There's
look
a
at
reason
you.
I'm here with you guys. There's a
Exactly.
reason I drove 5 hours. Out here to sit here with
Exactly,
you
all
guys.
the way out from Canada.
No, I'm here for you guys, man. I'm not here
Yeah.
for the podcast. I don't
Well,
care.
of course, but you
You
the
guys.
crazy thing is like he's 26,
he's 26.
just getting
exactly.
started.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Just
I
getting started.
I owe a lot of credit to a lot of people, man. I would want to mention some names, but for the most part, my dad. That's the most important one. I owe a lot of credit to my dad. The behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, like the daily pep talks, the phone calls, like he sees me coming home late night and he's keeping me on check because he knows I gotta come home. I come home at 1 a.m. I gotta wake up at 7 a.m. the next day. He's the one that helps me push through that
that's
stuff.
that's a good point though, right there though. So you did all this stuff on your own,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Now-
I would say.
now, but the thing is,
I had a lot of
people-
help from people.
Okay,
too,
but
man.
people
I had a lot of,
exactly
I owe a lot
how
of
do-
credit.
but a lot of credit where it's due. But
Yeah,
people
100%.
people always think, I always
Yeah.
hear people saying like, oh, like I do this on my own. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody. I don't need anybody.
Yeah,
Because you have done what you did without anybody there, minus the money, minus the
yeah.
take money out of the equation.
Could I have done what I did?
Could you have done what
No,
you did?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, man. I think having people who love you and support you in your life is very important.
And it's a good thing to have them there.
Yeah, but
and not
it does in the end it does require just pure discipline and hustle. I guess that's the main experience that I take away from a lot of the stuff that I have learned at my age. You know, you need to be disciplined before you can be smart.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. You know, you have to be disciplined before you can be smart. But yeah, I do owe a lot of credit to like my dad, my uncles. You know, a lot of the success comes from many uncles, and I call them my uncles. Some of them are my cousins, like by technicality, but they are like my uncles, my role models. So without them, without constant guidance from all of them and a little bit from everybody, I wouldn't be where I am today. You know,
Oh.
So that's a very big thing, very very important thing to mention in this podcast.
Oh.
So it's make sure like your career is in check, but make sure that the people in your life are in check as well, and like you're good with the people in your life too, because they will ultimately propel you and give you the best advice, and yeah, that's very important.
Yep.
Bobby Alachak, we
Bobby
loved having
Alachak.
you on, man.
Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
I
you
appreciate
so
you
much.
guys.
Wrap
Thank you
this
guys. It's a very important, or it's very not important, but it's a pleasure to be your first guest. So thank you.
Thank you
guys.
very
Appreciate it.
much.
Yep,
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's episode 1 for you guys.
Episode 1. Stay tuned. We got a lot more coming.
Local legends.
Local legends.
Local legends.
Yep.
You guys are gonna
See
need
you.
a better outro than that.
It's okay. It's all right, but it doesn't matter.
You know what? That actually was better than expected.
Yeah.
Bob was actually really good.
But the only thing, Bob was really good. The only thing that we did do that we shouldn't have done is we jumped around.
Yeah. Master's degree barber.
Yeah, like
I know.
we went
I
from
know.
being a barber. Oh, you have a master's degree?